Hello, heavenly humans. How are you out there? This is the Glenn Cobbin Sr. One Heartbeat podcast, and we have a distinguished guest with us today that happened to make her way back up north. She's been out of the state somewhere, and she's waving at y'all. She can't see herself wave, but I can. This is I'm gonna call it something that she wanted to do, and I'm always willing to oblige her, whoever else is, because I can't discriminate. And I just want you all to know that the things she's going to talk about is going to be straight from her heart, her experience in her life, her love for justice, and that type of thing. That's the bio on her. Her name is Kandas, Holmes-Barnes. And again, this is the Glenn Cobbin Sr. One Heartbeat podcast, sponsored by Destiny of Hope, helping our people excel, and also Limbs Limo LLC, owner Brandon Lewis Cobbins. Okay, so everybody know that the Heartbeat podcast is one heartbeat. When the animals and the humans and nature, we all coexisting, so we have to take care of one another. So I'm gonna let her introduce herself, and we're gonna get started on this thing. Keep your minds open, because as everybody know, one of my favorite saying, the mind is like a parachute. It only works if it's open. Say hello, Candace, and let me see you wave. Let me see your pretty smile.
Hello, how is everyone?
I'm gonna let you introduce yourself. You've been on here before, and you got a lot of views. And right now, you're going through some stuff, and I know you're doing some things that's very extraordinary as far as reaching out to the public, different countries, fight for justice. Little old Candace is doing that, y'all. She's gonna explain exactly what she's doing, and I'm gonna try to promote her thought process as she goes, because she's on it, and I appreciate what she's doing. And like I said, the Heartbeat Podcast, One Heartbeat Podcast, has really got her back on this. So let's get her started. She's going to introduce herself and what her mission is. Go ahead, Kandas.
Hello, everyone. Again, I'm Kandas Holmes-Barnes. I'm 38 years old. What I want to talk about is basically everything around the injustice and the justice that I want and desperately need. Also, I want to let you know I thank you for allowing me to give me another opportunity to share my story and to get the word out there.
Oh, you're most certainly welcome, Candace. Like I said, you had a very powerful testimony and story, and some fact-based things that you were doing. Candace, you said you were fighting for justice right now. Can you break that down just a little bit right now? And we're going to delve into it as we go, because I know it's going to get deep with you. I know you. All right, so let's not hold nothing back right now, Candace.
So you want me to say from like July?
I want you to say whatever's on your mind, whatever's on your heart, whatever you think the public need to hear, or the people who who's not here need to hear, whatever. I just want you to talk about it.
So I'm fighting for justice because I'm a mother. I'm a Black mother. I'm a single mother of 4 children. Also, I'm fighting for justice because I come with a criminal background, a drug addiction past, a horrible life that I used to live. And I'm fighting for justice today because when you desperately reach out to the people that are supposed to be there the most for you and your loved ones or the people in the community, and they fail you not once, not twice, not 3 times, not 4, not 5 times, not 6, and the pattern just keeps on going. When they wanted justice from me when I was stealing in the stores, when I was writing bad checks, when I was using other people's names and identities, they wanted their time back. They wanted justice. And this is what I desperately want for mine.
So you're saying that you paid your dues to society by the criminal activity that you were in your past? Is that what you're alluding to, or?
Yeah. Well, when I was out there doing my criminal mind thinking, they wanted all their time. I didn't get a second chance.
Who is they, Candace? You're saying
system,
they? The system. Okay.
I'm talking about from the judges to the lawyers to the public defenders, to the prosecuting attorneys, and to the police department. And the ones that you trust the most will definitely always mainly be the police department, right?
Okay. Okay, so you did all your time. You paid your debt to society. So now that's justice, right? I mean, you did a crime, you paid for it, right?
Yeah, it's justice.
Okay, now to me, you're trying to tell me something. I want you to bring it. You need to bring it. Now are you experiencing some type of injustice? Let me throw that out there. Are you experiencing injustice right now?
Yes.
In what way? To who? Who's doing the injustice to Kandas Holmes-Barnes? Let me know.
Columbia Police Department.
Okay.
And injustice means, because I've been going to, let me start off by, I filed a lawsuit against the police department over 3 years ago that I am continuing to fight to this day. And I've been fighting it alone for this last almost 6-7 months without an attorney. So I just feel like a lot when you go through and you file a lawsuit or you go against the system, they show you a lot of retaliation and hate crimes and allow a lot of things to happen to you in your life. And you feel like they're supposed to be there to protect you. So you go to them. I went to them in July of 2020. When my son was threatened with his life with an AK-47, and these little guys came on my street looking for my son, another black boy. But that's my son. And asking for my son, wanting to kill my son. And I made a police report. And when those police officers came and the words that they spoke, if they came looking for your son, Miss Barnes, they are going to kill your son. So they moved me, Section 8, to a safe place. Everything was fine until January
Of this year.
2021. Now, with me even going to the police department with reports, because, I can't defend myself because I'm a non-violent criminal and I can't legally carry a firearm. So I go to the police department because that's what you're supposed to do. You go to them for safety.
And justice. And you're seeking justice, right?
I'm seeking justice, yes. And so I go to them. And you have over 5 complaints against the police department through this whole 3 years. But you're still going to them for help, for safety, for justice. So everything's fine until January 2021. There was a Snapchat page group made with 946 people in this group. It had a picture. My daughter is now 16, going on 17, but that picture was taken when she was 12 or 13 years old. And it was a naked picture of her in the bathroom of her own privacy, in her own phone. And then there was also a post made saying that such and such pulled a gun out on Jordan Brantley, which is my son. And Jordan Brantley turned state evidence over on this such and such person. And that's why this such and such person is locked up. So you make another police report. Because at this moment you're scared. You know what I'm saying? Because you have a 15-year-old minor child. And you know that if anything is done with your minor child, you as a parent would have to be there to sign paperwork, would have to be there to talk to an investigator, would have to be there to literally see your son sign this paperwork, would have to go to court to see your son get on to testify against this person. It makes it very difficult when these two individuals, my son and this other person, have never met each other a day in their life. But when your son is getting death threats from juvenile detention centers, prisons, and jails, and you're giving this information to the detective and the officers Andrew Gilstrap. In that email, he says that, Ms. Barnes, the feds will reach out to you. We now have the feds on this case. So you think everything's cool? You think they're going to take on, oh yeah, the feds on it. Woo, I'm about to get justice, before someone takes my son. It's getting serious now. They coming from prisons, jails, and juvenile detention centers. My son is 15. And this is all over a fight. All over a fight. But you still keep on reaching out to this officer. I'm talking about giving him video recordings, evidence, Snapchat, just different videos of them sitting behind your car, telling them how you can get to your family, your mother anyway, making death threats, got songs on YouTube about killing your son. What are you supposed to do as a mother? And you're going to the police department, the same police department that love to kill black boys. But you still keep going to them, because if you go back to your old ways, your old people, places in your thinking, you might end up in prison for the rest of your life, because you have no plex on taking anybody's life to save your children's. But that's not the right way to do things. So you reach out to the police department. So all this time you got police reports. And then February comes. Your son is at the mall, Columbia Mall. And he gets jumped by 15 so-called East Side boys. And it's him, another black boy, my 12-year-old daughter, who was 12 at the time, and a mother with bright red hair and a tattoo on the side of her face that got my son to safety. When my son was jumped, the police was called. A report was made. When I went to the officer, Gilstrap, about this, I have an email. Everything that I talk about, I have documentations, evidence, dates, times, phone numbers, names. So when you're talking to this officer and he tells you in this email, what I gathered from this fight is a North Side, East Side gang-related fight. You have a son that's on probation for the first time because he was in a stolen vehicle, okay? Literally did 2 weeks in the juvenile detention center and scared him like a scared straight program. So when this officer is coming to you with no background, no evidence, no proof or nothing, and he's labeling your son as a gang member. For one, my son ain't never lived on the North Side. So for you to compare it to a gang, North Side, East Side gang-related fight was unnecessary.
Wait. Now, he automatically just said your son was a gang member without no evidence, with no tattoo, with no initiation, with no nothing. He just assumed, or what do you think? How do you think he came to that conclusion?
Because the mother had red hair. He must have thought she was a blood. And my son has tattoos. He must have thought he was a GD. And my daughter, who was 12, she had on a green do-rag. He must have thought she was from Big Bird, Scooby-Doo, I don't know, Sesame Street, but this ain't the one.
So what action did he take? Where did the disconnect come from?
Oh,
he accused your boy of being a gang member, right? Mm-hmm. And so that made you, what was the injustice in that? What happened? How come he's not backing you up? What make you think he's not backing you up?
Because he's a black boy. I'm a black girl. I have a criminal background. I have a horrible past. I got a background long as King's Highway, so they say. I have a learning disability. I have a mental illness.
So those things, those are no reason.
I don't have money.
Those are no reason for an officer of the law to disrespect you or not seek justice for your family.
I I think it's because they've seen me fight this case, my first case against them for the last 3 years, and it ain't going nowhere, so they think. So they feel like, even though I keep on talking, ain't nobody gonna hear me. Ain't nobody gonna do nothing. Everybody's gonna silence me. But you can't silence Kandas Holmes-Barnes at all. When that officer told me, after looking at that post of that what they made on this Como exposure page, this man, Andrew Gilstrap, said on his body cam in that police office and told me, even if it ain't true, Miss Barnes, that person, his family and friends are going to kill your son. And this was before he got jumped at Level Up at Columbia Mall.
Okay, so we got an officer who you don't think is not demonstrating due process of the law by not protecting you and your family, right? Mm-hmm. You got your son Jordan Bradley, who's been in trouble before, mm-hmm. and he gets jumped by several individuals, a whole herd of them, from what you're saying to me. Mm-hmm. And so, what you think need to be done? Like I said, this right here is not, in all fairness, if the officer Gilstrap or whoever his name is want to come on the Glenn Cobb Senior 1 RB podcast and be right here, be my guest. Because, it's open for everybody, not just Kandas Holmes or not just the black community or so-called black community, not just for officers, it's for everybody. Because, see, one thing that I do know about your case, Kandas, there was definitely injustice. I know that to be true. Not because I assumed it, because I went through some of it with you. Yeah. I can see you over there hurting right now. You're hurting. And I don't give legal advice because I'm not a lawyer, but I have a background too, long as King Highway and long as the Nile. But that's okay. On this podcast, we seek justice, we seek truth, we seek opportunity for people to come on the same page so that justice can be done. We seek equality, right? Yeah. So what do you think, Kandas? What do you think the officer should have done? Look at the camera. You need to look and tell the people this. Yeah, there you go.
He should have did his investigation work. He should have looked into it. He should have not labeled my son because of the color of his skin and what he's seen on the top of his head. He should have literally opened up his book and read his story and know that my son don't have nothing on his background that considers him, compares him to a gang affiliator. My son doesn't have anything in his background to even make you think that he's a gang member. There's no paperwork, no proof, or no nothing. And especially if I've been going to you since July of last year over these same boys that jumped my boy in February, how can you compare it to a gang-related fight if you don't even know the backstory? No, you're looking at people's hair color. You're looking at people's tattoos. You're looking at people's do-rags. You're looking at people's fucking hair on the top of their head.
And the color of their skin, too,
The color of their skin. You're not looking at the simple fact, if you would have asked the lady with the red hair, what did you see, ma'am? She would have said she was seeing one of the little boys and heard one of the little boys get on the phone and said, Jordan Brantley is at Level Up. They chased my son through the mall. So I want justice. So I filed a complaint.
Against this officer?
Yeah, this is my fourth one against the police department.
Okay. How many times have you filed against this officer?
Well, this is my first one. This is my second one with him. But I got 5 altogether. 2 are still being investigated, and 1 is still being investigated from December. And I don't understand what Chief Jones is doing.
Well, let me let you something. There was a guy named Tom Dresner here when Chief Burton first got his when he first became chief, and I had the money mission to Judy Hubbard, and we did this thing called role reversals. Cause see, when you seeking justice, you got to put yourself in the shoes of the other individual, of the officer, and he got to put himself in the shoes of your son, or maybe in your dress, as a female, right? So in saying that right there, how could he have done something different if he had looked through your eyes? What do you think he would have seen if he had seen what was going through your eyes? What do you think if he had put himself in your shoes, or maybe even Jordan's shoes? Would he have seen color? would he have felt what was really going on? Will that make him even the playing fields up?
Well, you know.
I mean, all fairness to him. Because you know what? I don't know his background. I know that most of us black folks are looked at in ways that we portray the image that they've given us, for one. You know, with the sagging pants. I know Jordan don't even sag, you know, 'cause I know Jordan personally. So, but the tattoos, the dreadlocks, the color of their skin, you know, the do-rags ain't as much as prevalent here in Missouri as they are in Cali, but, you know, these type of things automatically are stereotypical things that officers who don't know better can come into, and then they start judging and stereotyping. So what could he have done different? What could all fairness to him, what could he have done? What if you just look in the camera and say to him, this is what you want, this is what you should have done. Again, I know you alluded to it earlier. Say it again. Say, Officer Jill Strap or whatever his name is, you could have done this, this, and this. Tell me. Tell the people. Tell the public.
Well, I just feel like Andrew Jill Strap, for a person behind a badge, that comes with a lot of authority.
And responsibility. Yeah.
And when people are coming to you and reaching out for help, and you talking to them, and you're telling these parents that this person is going to kill your son. You know for a fact that these kids is going to kill your son because you're saying it out of your mouth. I feel like you should have investigated it more, because it should have never went this far. Not only did he get jumped, but it gets deeper than that. And I've been going to you guys since July of 2020, I'm sorry. So I don't understand why I still don't have justice. I still do not understand why not one person is arrested. I still do not understand why you're still allowing the hood rat boys, so you call them, East Side boys, so you call them. You've been trying to get them for months. But for some reason, you just so happen to wait until something happens to this family. To wait until it almost comes to a near fatal end. Before now you want to step up and do something. It should have never got this deep.
So you just said he's stepping up trying to do something. Is that true? Is he trying to serve and protect? Is that what he's trying to do now?
Hell no. I put him off the case. They gave me Detective Jill Strap. He ain't no damn better.
Now hold up. You confusing me. Andrew Jill Strap is the one that's on the case now?
Now he's not.
Okay, you took him off, so you gave you another man.
They gave me another one because of the shooting. Yeah, we ain't even got to that part yet. Yeah. So in the process of me filing a complaint against the officer, not only for labeling my son as a gang member, I also let it be known and filed a complaint against him telling me that they're going to kill my son. So I just started going to Lieutenant Alpers. But one thing I didn't know, and I should have thought, or maybe I wasn't thinking. Maybe it was just the way he was talking to me and made me feel like he was really wanting to do something for me and my family. Maybe it was the way he wanted to talk and like whisper sweet lies in your ear, just tell you everything you want to hear and make you feel like everything's great. Whole time, he's a devil. He's a liar. I don't trust nobody in the CPD system anymore.
So I remember we was talking maybe almost a year ago. We were talking when I was involved in some of the stuff that you were doing as far as justice and peace and activism. Activism is concerned. You was dealing with Jeff Jones. He's not. You can't deal with him no more. I mean, you know, when he was acting like he was going to do something. I mean, what's going on with that? And the reason I'm asking you that because these guys have bosses. You know, are you reaching out to the boss? Are you taking the right steps and precautions to try to find out what more you can do when this particular individual's not doing what his job is, or you're reaching out to his bosses, or you're reaching out to the government, Attorney General, all these people that's supposed to be part of the show or part of the help, or you're reaching out to them. And I don't want to do a full investigation on the podcast, but I do want you to get your word out there because I want you to take your time and say the necessary things just to make them aware, because this is not a hatred thing on this podcast, but it's definitely a thing of truth, and how they take it is on them. You know, but I want your word to get out there, because you know what? This is a One Heartbeat podcast. You know, them people, when they hurt you, they hurt me. And if you hurt them, you hurt nature. If you hurt nature, you hurt animals. And that's what this podcast is all about. But this podcast is a platform for people to seek justice. So what is Officer Jeff Jones doing? Is he doing his part? Is he behind you like he started off a couple years ago? Or y'all communicating is what I'm saying?
Well, he has backed away from me all the way. Probably because I won't stay as silent as he thought I would. I just feel like the sentence or the punishment he gave his Officer Ash, for my first complaint when he falsely arrested my daughter.
That was a devastating blow.
Yeah.
Your daughter, had to spend time in jail for something she didn't do.
He got suspended for an hour and had to take a training class.
Okay, so I know you still got that in motion. What do you think right now? What road are you taking now to seek justice? I know we're doing this podcast now, and hopefully the word get out there. People can chime in. People can contact you anytime they get ready. You can leave your number here when we end. You leave all your information here. They can contact you. And some of the so-called black leaders, or so-called leaders, so-called activists, so-called lawyers that's seeking justice, or so-called government officials that's seeking justice. Maybe if we get this out here, maybe they can call you and give you some help. Maybe. I'm praying.
I think it does something to me when you've called the attorney generals twice, and they turn you away not once but twice, telling you, if you pursue and sue in the police department, we can't help you.
Do you have the Attorney General's name?
I did have it written down. I do have it written down in my file. And I also told them that I was going to file a complaint against them too.
Absolutely. Yeah. Justice got to be served. We got to start somewhere, Kandas. And like I said, I'm proud of you for, even talking about it, to be honest with you. You got people praying for you. You got people fighting for you. Some of them scared to fight in the open. And some of them, they, silent warriors or whatever the case may be. But there are people out here. Don't think you're alone. I know it's a lonely world out there when you got 4 kids and you're a single parent and you're struggling right now. And a lot of people kicking in, because I know you're doing your own thing, which is great, 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 great stuff. So just don't give up regardless. And don't think you're alone, because you're not. It feels that way sometimes. I get that, but there's a lot of people pulling, man. And some people just don't like to be seen when they pull. So. So come on, talk to me. Something going through that brain of yours. Let it happen.
I don't know. I guess it just does something to you when the same night your son was jumped, and for a fact your son and your daughter was in a car, and these boys get to shooting at your son and your daughter, end up accidentally missing them and killing a 10-year-old innocent bystander. And when you go to the police department and you tell them who was all in the car, who would know it better than the people that was there? And the Detective Joe Strap says that's still not enough evidence. And no one else is talking. How can you tell me, can I go and look up a police report to see what child it was who was killed on that night? How about you do your fucking job and get on there and subscribe and do what you need to do and look it up? Because I'm coming to you because I hurt for that mother. I hurt for that mother even twice because that was literally actually supposed to be my son and my daughter. I hurt for that mother because that innocent child didn't have nothing to do with what was going on in the first place. I hurt for that mother because I literally been going to the police department since July of last year and nothing has been done still to this day. I hurt for that mother because it still bothers me that I still get on my hands and knees and I pray while my son is still asleep because I know they either want your son either locked up, killed, on drugs, bad baby daddies, in the streets, sagging, not going to school. But I don't have a son like that. I got a very well-mannered, respectful, normal 15-year-old that'll get out of control, but I can handle that. He's not no uncontrollable kid. He doesn't deserve to die because you don't want him to live, because you don't like him. I just feel like when I had to ship my kids away, my oldest 2 kids for the last 2 months, it really ripped half of it out. Because here I am, I fought so hard to get where I was. And then it felt like I was falling because I didn't have all my kids. But I knew if I wanted to not bury my son, but not bury my daughter, I had to do whatever it took to get them to safety, to know that I love them and I'm gonna be there for them.
Okay, I appreciate you saying all that. You know, like I said, this is the Glenn Cobb Senior One Heartbeat podcast. We have Kandas Holmes interviewing Kandas today about injustice that's going on in her life, and that's the way she look at it. I know a little bit about it. However, we are also trying to reach out to the public to let's find the truth out. I mean, that's what it's all about. The Heartbeat podcast is sponsored by Destiny of Hope, helping our people excel, and also Limbs Limo LLC, owner Brandon Lewis Cobb. And so now what we're going to do, you know, because I usually keep them at 30 minutes, we're a little bit over, but what we're going to do, we're going to let her end with what she wants to say, with our information that...
I didn't even get to say about the shoe.
It's okay. You won't say it on this one. No, you won't say it on this one. I gotta keep it like I know how to keep it. You know, because I don't want you to investigate the case on this thing. I want you don't gotta give all your roads. You're setting yourself up. You know, so I don't want you to try this case on this podcast. You don't have to give them all your ammunition.
Okay.
Sometimes you just got to be quiet. Silence speak golden, and sometimes silence speak the loudest. You understand what I'm saying? So what I do want you to do is end with justice, some type of justice gesture if you feel it in your heart. But if you don't say it. My job out here, what I want you to understand is that on this podcast, I want you to say what's on your heart, but I want you to hold people accountable. You know, I don't want you to be the judge, the jury, the investigator, the lawyer. That don't, because you know all that does bring trouble, and that's what this podcast ain't about. Trouble. This is about peace.
Right.
You know, because some of the people that you're talking about, some people you mentioned, you know, those officers got jobs too. They got families too. You know what I mean? So they if they like I said, and they can listen to this podcast and they can come on. They can defend what they say if they want to defend themselves. Yes. So it's a fair thing here. Okay, so but I do want you to end with what do you think going forward? What are you trying to do? What do you want done? Can you you tell me.
At the end of the day, I want justice. I would like to have an activist lawyer or a lawyer that will represent us and fight for us and fight for justice. I would like the police officers who was involved to be held accountable and what's been going on in this case, the last case, the case before that, and beyond. I want people in the world to know that there's real life shit going on in this world. In this community, people don't stick together. And police really don't. And know that when you are fighting a battle alone, it's really hard. But as long as you keep on getting up and looking at your children every day and knowing that every breath you take is for them, you will do anything in your power to protect them, to love them, to honor them, to break the cycle, and to cherish them. So I will continue to fight for justice. I do actually have a petition on change.org under Ariana Barnes, under my daughter, if anybody would like to sign it. Thank you.
Is there any other way that you want people to contact you, to donate money to you, to help you fight this thing, or suggest any lawyers to you, anything like that? You're welcome to say that. You need to say stuff like that, in my opinion. But don't let me guide your words. I just know that I want to put stuff out there to see if you analyze it. If you need to say it.
You can also, I just made a YouTube channel under Kandas, Kandas, Holmes, HOLMES -Barnes, BARNES. It goes into great detail about what I've been going through for the last 3 years. Also, you can go to my GoFundMe account, and even if you could just share it or donate, I would be greatly appreciated, because at this time it's hard. We literally don't have a home. We don't have somewhere where we lay down and be comfortable. Right now we have to worry about who's behind us and what's going on and where we're going to eat and where we're going to sleep. So anything helps, even sharing it. Also, you can email me at CandasBarnesPSMA@gmail.com. It's also in my GoFundMe. Also, I just went viral not even 25 days ago on TikTok over the injustice. You can definitely find me on Kan May MAY 1. So it's Can May 1. Or you can find me on Twitter and Instagram. I talk a lot about the injustice on there too.
Wow. Well, you heard it all. You heard some of it. And she may come back and finish up what she needs to say. But I try to keep my podcast under 35 minutes. Right now we're at 37:27. We have the infamous Kandas Holmes-Barnes. She is, she a lot of heartfelt stuff she said, and she just wants justice, man. I agree with what she's saying, and I'm just one person, but I agree with what she's saying. I fought 19, 20 months right side by side. We was doing things the way we knew how to do them, and I really appreciate her coming on today. This is a Glenn Cobbin Sr. One Heartbeat podcast, and we have hey I'm learning this thing, right? We're gonna sign off now, and we're gonna say Glenn Cobbin Sr. One Heartbeat podcast, where animal, humans, and nature coexist. Peace and plenty of love. Say bye, Miss Barnes.
Bye, everybody.
Peace.